Let's get back to our questions. What everyone is interested in is the commissioning permit. That is, the formal authorization to put our site into operation, the permit people need. What can I say? Well, at long last, they have started to treat this differently. The stance has changed. They are no longer handling it the old way now. Right here in my hands is a directive issued after a meeting with a Moscow government minister, the head of the Department of Investment and Industrial Policy, concerning Technopolis matters. It relates to our situation here. And here, under item 12, it provides for signing a contract with Sovelmash to develop technical plans for the premises in case a repeated refusal is received from Rosreister. It also lists the responsible persons and the deadline. If Rosreister refuses, Sovelmash will prepare the engineering and technical plans for the premises, naming those responsible and deadline. The deadline, naturally, was April 30th. We slipped a little, but nonetheless the matter has moved forward. The contracts have been signed, all that has been done, the process is ongoing, and we are working. So the work is underway and has moved from a standstill. Despite a small delay from the stated date, the contracts are signed and the workflow continues apace. But all this is only a prelude to the subsequent events that still await us. It is just groundwork ahead. So the process is moving, and at long last, it is beginning to take the right shape. Step by step, it is steadily settling into the proper format we have been aiming for. This project that we are carrying out together stands out from everything else, and whatever happens, it keeps moving forward. It shows advantages over other initiatives and demonstrates progress, advancing steadily and not stalling almost always. And people accuse us of doing something wrong. I tell them, guys, we are not releasing products yet. We are carrying out commissioning. In the course of commissioning work, batches of product appear. Literally at the start of this week, the sprue bushing for the mold used to cast the angle grinder flange arrived. Until then, without it, we could not proceed to expanded production. For the initial launch, those flanges were purchased in China, although everything else there was ours. With this piece delivered, we can scale up in-house casting of the flange on our mold instead of relying on a supplier. For the first run, the flanges came from China. Most was ours. And in general, we had a minor disruption for several days. It was caused by the cords, because instead of 8.1 millimeters and 8.5 meter, a 7 meter diameter was supplied. The issue is being resolved now, and everything else is proceeding as normal. It was a short-lived hiccup, due solely to a diameter mismatch in the cords. We ordered 8.1 millimeters and 8.5 millimeters, but got 7 millimeters. The cause is identified, the supply is being corrected, and the rest of the processes are not impeded. You may have noticed that we demonstrated lifting Motylyok. We did not raise it higher because there wasn't enough space. Now we are coordinating a site where we will be able to carry out maneuvering tests and tuning. The ascent was limited only by the lack of space at the site, and we are securing approvals for a proper area to conduct maneuvering trials and adjustments. And on top of that, it is now practically ready. We did a few small jobs, a new, well, call it the fuselage, or rather the center section. The battery will be different. We completed the small finishing tasks, renewed the center section of the airframe, and updated the battery to match accordingly. Earlier, we simply did not go for such expenses. There are many different welding processes involved. They are not yet robotized, because we need to make sure everything will be fine. But I believe the new Motylyok body will definitely please you. The design includes welding operations that are not yet automated. We must confirm everything works as intended. I am confident the Motylyok airframe will meet expectations. Also, as of today, we have produced a prototype of an adapter plate for our motor to mount it on a miter saw, angle grinder. Oh, not an angle grinder. I mean an interskull miter saw. Sorry, I misspoke. It is an adapter plate to mount our drive on an interskull miter saw, replacing its motor. The angle grinder mention was just a slip. This is work we began quite a long time ago, and now in principle, it is progressing thanks to the establishment and mastering of the production processes for manufacturing our motors that go into angle grinders and power tools. That groundwork has let us return to the original task and move it, leveraging processes built for the angle grinder line and tools. This project, we can consider, is also nearing completion and moving toward commercialization, because we are already negotiating the use of this drive in machine tools and various saws. But not in Russia, sorry. In Russia, all of this is Chinese. Therefore, as the saying goes, you have to look for the original source. That is where we are going. Still, over time it will reach the Russian market. In practice, we are moving from prototypes towards serial adoption. Talks are underway to integrate this drive into machine tools and various saws made by overseas manufacturers. The first applications are being advanced outside Russia because much of the equipment on the domestic market is Chinese, so we are going straight to the source. Any questions right now?
Can Sovelmash become a catalyst for genuine import substitution and for improving energy efficiency across key sectors, industry, housing and public utilities, transport, extraction and electric power?
Over time, all motors will be replaced by motors with combined windings. That is inevitable, because just like the transition to socialism, to communism, it is inevitable. It is a matter of when, not if, an historical process that runs its course regardless of preferences. Why? Because either humanity has to be destroyed, or resources will not be sufficient, and society will shift to a distributive system and to receiving only the amount of services and benefits that is necessary. Therefore, yes, this process will proceed. When resources are constrained, consumption is rationalized and distribution becomes rule, with people receiving what is needed. In context, the shift is not optional, but determined. And the most important element and the most important stage that we have all gone through together is the creation of a production chain for manufacturing products using combined winding technology. This is the cornerstone we needed in order to move from ideas to practical, reproducible results. These are aircraft motors for Motylyok, motors for angle grinders, motors for power tools. A customer and a potential investor who want to implement this technology can not only take it in hand and test it, not only buy it, but also organize production. We can present hardware across aviation and tool use, provide samples for hands-on trials, supply units for purchase, and transfer the manufacturing process so that production can be set up on-site by the customer or investor, in practice, end-to-end. And as we have said, the consumer does not need theories or patents. They need a button to press and get a finished product. If they see that a button is pressed here and that over there a product appears, that is what they need. And that is already a subject for discussion. The demand is for a press and produce workflow, not for documents. When a buyer sees input here and output there, discussion becomes concrete.
And all that you have just said, under sanctions in terms of setting up turnkey production in Russia, is that possible? Is a domestic turnkey setup possible under sanctions now?
Deliveries to Russia of what, precisely?
Setting up production in the Russian Federation with our technology under current sanctions. Is that feasible now, in practice? So?
If we are speaking about motors, aluminum is ours, copper is ours, electrical steel is ours, everything else is ours. The only exception is that various components in the controllers are not Russian. In short, motor materials are domestic, controller parts are weak, for now. Yes, the sanctions interfered with creating such a facility as Sovelmash, a design and technology engineering bureau. Yes, there were very serious problems, but we created it anyway. We launched the bureau anyway, despite that. But now, for setting up the production technology for motors of other models, we need tooling. Some machines are needed. We need a machine, for example, for permanent mold casting. It would be good if we had it so that we could pour the rotors on a permanent mold setup for the motor for Motylyok. We need fixtures and dedicated equipment to launch other motor variants. A permanent mold casting machine is key. With it on site, we could cast the rotors for the Motylyok motor on our permanent mold line instead of relying on outside capacity. But since we don't currently have the financial capacity to purchase it, we're building our own. Right now, all the necessary mold components and assemblies for it are being manufactured. We are fabricating the form-giving parts and sub-assemblies ourselves so that complete unit can be put together in-house. Our induction melting furnace, designed for pouring large volumes of aluminum, has not yet been put into operation. It is for the kinds of castings you cannot accomplish on a high-pressure die casting machine. The work is underway. We will complete it step by step. It is for batches and thicker sections where high-pressure die casting does not apply, and we are commissioning it gradually with related processes. Right now, we are at the stage of commissioning the powder coating section because it is needed to paint the gearbox flanges for the angle grinder. These are aluminum alloy parts that must be coated. This section is being installed and brought online. There is still more to launch, but the process has begun. It already allows us to produce batches for now, until we receive the commissioning permit. After that, we will be able to intensify these processes. This powder line is needed to coat aluminum alloy gearbox flanges for the angle grinder, providing a durable finish for those parts. There are also other subsystems to commission, but the important point is that the ramp-up has begun. Even before the formal commissioning permit is issued, we can release limited batches and keep the production chain active. Once permission is granted, we will accelerate and scale up these processes now. At the same time, I would like to note one small detail. Everyone who visits the facility is very impressed. Even the Technopolis staff, speaking frankly, say, yes, the site is very serious and it commands respect. That is significant recognition after going through all these trials. People leave with a strong impression of the scale and quality of the work. Hearing that kind of assessment from the Technopolis team is meaningful. They see many sites and still call this one a serious, respectable facility. After all the tests and difficulties we have overcome, such feedback matters. It is a real marker. Previously, people thought this was impossible. Truly so. But now it's different. A potential customer even came and said, when they told me that such a project existed, I said it was all a scam, a pyramid scheme. And then to my surprise, I discovered that we had actually come to this pyramid. Honestly, I didn't believe it. Seeing is believing, as he put it. The visit changed views. And how about now? Now I believe, he said. That is the main thing. Everything non-essential will fall away. The work will move on from here. Thank you.